Welcome to Drum Corps Central, a podcast. I'm a 13-year-old drum corps superfan who loves all forms of the marching arts. Thanks for watching the podcast today. There will be an almost daily episode of this podcast recapping the previous night's drum corps scores and looking ahead. Today is Wednesday, June 27th, and last night we had no shows, the first day of the summer tour with no shows, but tonight action resumes with a show in Evansville, Indiana. So we'll get to that and a little bit more today. So let's get started. First up, kind of just a refresh on what happened on Monday night and before. Let's take a look at the world-class leaderboard as of yesterday, so as of today. The Bluecoats are at the top with a 74.2, Carolina Crown second with a 73.35. Those two had a show on Monday night. The Blue Devils, Vanguard, you see them there. They didn't have a show on Monday night, so that's why they're third and fourth. Blue Devils might be first. Vanguard might be first. They might be third and fourth. So, as I've said before, we don't know exactly what it is until these corps go head-to-head, especially in San Antonio, because we see all of the corps there. But I just like to see where are the scores turning out right now. And the Bluecoats and Crown, here they are at the top. Blue Devils, Vanguard, third and fourth. They're kind of in those two groups. But now, Bluecoats and Crown, they go two separate ways. Crown goes out to the Midwest while the Bluecoats come east. The Blue Devils and Vanguard. Vanguard has a show on Friday night in Oceanside, but the Blue Devils take off until Saturday in Pasadena. Then you see down the board here, just a few things to point out. Phantom Regiment, we're going to see them tonight. We're going to see the Blue Stars tonight. We're going to see how they go. So right now, Phantom may be 8th and Blue Stars might be 12th. But after tonight, when we see those two go head-to-head, they might not be 8th and 12th anymore. I think the Blue Stars have a lot more to gain. I think they will end up somewhere in the 9, 10, 11 range, not in 12th. And I think Phantom may just fall a little bit. They're kind of the wild card, though, right now, because they came super close to the Cadets in Akron, but then they fell off and almost got beat by the Crossmen like a night later. So there's big wild cards here in regards to that 7 through 12 spot, and then going down beyond there, Madison Scouts, Academy, Colts, they're all kind of within 3 points of each other. Like if you even go up farther to Mandarins and Blue Stars, they're all 3-4 points near each other. So this is just something we're going to have to watch, because eventually when those West Corps come to the Midwest and towards the eastern part of the country, we're going to see the Mandarins go head-to-head with the Blue Stars. We're going to see the Mandarins go head-to-head with Madison. And those, I think, are the ones, I think the big battles this year, okay, the top 5 are really close together, but I think the big battle is going to be for 2 or 3 finalist spots, because we might see 2 or 3 finalists that were in last year that maybe miss out this year, and 2 or 3 corps that weren't in finals last year maybe have never been in finals, like the Mandarins, that might climb in. So there's a lot of different wild cards right now on this leaderboard. And one other thing I want to point out here, this next show column. So out of these guys that haven't done a show yet, we see Music City. They debut tonight in Evansville. Spirit of Atlanta debuts tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. Pacific Crest, they have their first show. I think it's actually like a home show on Friday night in Oceanside, California. Then we have about a week without any corps debuting. Then Oregon Crusaders and Seattle Cascades debut in Vancouver, Washington on July 6th, and then Jersey Surf, they're the last corps to make their first appearance. They'll make their first appearance in Lexington, South Carolina on July 7th. So that's it for the leaderboard. Now let's take a look at tonight's show for Wednesday, June 27th, 2018. Tonight, the ECI Summer Tour ventures to Evansville, Indiana, and drums on the Ohio. Let's take a look at lineup and times. All the times are Central Time. 7 o'clock, Welcome and National Anthem. 7:10, Music City from Nashville, Tennessee. 7:28, Genesis. 7:46, Colts. 8:04, there'll be a 25-minute intermission. 8:29, action resumes with the Blue Stars from La Crosse, Wisconsin. 8:47, Phantom Regiment from Rockford, Illinois. 9:05, the Cavaliers. And at 9:33, scores will be announced. A few battles to watch out for here. Music City, it's their season debut. Where do they fit in with Genesis? They probably can't get up near the Colts and Blue Stars, but how do they fit in with Genesis? Remember, Music City and Genesis. The two corps most recently have taken that step from open class to world class. Music City, this is their inaugural world class show. They used to always go to this show as an open class corps, I think, but now they're there as a world-class corps. Now they're competing on the same level, kind of, as Genesis is, and Colts, and those corps right above them. So Music City, they were a semifinalist last year in Indianapolis. How can they kind of use the momentum of making that jump to world-class? And maybe they'll propel past Genesis in this first show of the season. That'd be huge for Music City. That's just one thing to watch out for. Next is the Colts. How close are they going to be to the Blue Stars and Phantom Regiment? Are they going to be really close, or are they going to be kind of 3-4 points back? Are they going to be like they were with Madison, or are they going to be 3-4 points back? I think that's the thing to watch out for with the Colts. Then the Blue Stars and Phantom. They competed head-to-head on Thursday night in Detroit in the tour premiere. Now we get to see them again tonight. How do they place? Phantom was 2 points, I think, above the Blue Stars in Detroit. Do they keep that, or do the Blue Stars gain? What happens there? And then the Cavaliers, really all they got here is a solid first place finish. No real big competition to them. I would say see how they compare to other corps, but with nobody competing in like the last 2-3 days, it could be hard to compare them to anyone. Now just a few notes for tonight's drums on the Ohio. It's at the Reeds Bowl in Evansville, Indiana. Take a look at the weather forecast here. Looking pretty good. 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Temperature goes from about the mid-80s to the high 70s by the time the show's over. A pretty short show, just 2-3 hours long. So looking like a good night for some drum corps out in Indiana. And now just a few things before I finish today. Make sure to check out drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. Leaderboard, scores, and schedules can all be found there for DCI and DCA. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you don't already at Drum Corps Geek, and subscribe to my YouTube page, Drum Corps Central. So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back with another Drum Corps Central podcast episode later this week.